Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver. Today we are playing the Fates, and let's just jump right into it. So we start off with a free roll because there was nothing that I really wanted out of that first shop as my Fated character. We find a Poly, which is fantastic, and we get the turn 1 Poly Slay, and it turns into a Princess Wight, and we locked 2 Dwarves with a Shrink Drink in the shop. So yeah, we're off to an excellent start here. A very interesting start for sure. So instead of casting the Shrink Drink and like buying one of the Dwarves, I want to start getting quest progress on both Wights and also get the shop bonus on both my my Dwarves in the shop here. So we're just gonna pick up the other Princess Wight, and then we'll cast the Shrink Drink next turn, and then we can buy 2 Dwarves. So yeah, we get a unicorn in the shop, which we can't really use. So we're just gonna cycle that out. Yeah, at first I wasn't gonna cycle it. I was just gonna lock it here, but yeah, I think cycling it out is the right thing to do here. That way we're not locking this unicorn going into 3, as I don't think it's really gonna add much to our board. So yeah, we get the cycle, buy the tiny and the crafty, and we lock the 3rd Princess Wight there. And also that means that we're gonna get another Princess Wight in the shop. If the other units in the shop were a little bit better, I would have locked the Princess Wights for one more turn, because I mean getting 5 Princess Wights would have been very fun. but I mean I think 4 is still a reasonable amount here. Unfortunately, these treasures don't really work for us at all, so I think we're just gonna take the sarcophagus. We have 2 evil characters. It's gonna give us a little bit of extra reach in the next couple fights until we can. Until we get our level 3 treasures out of our quest triggers here. And unfortunately, no Dwarves here. At this point, like we're just aggressively rolling for Dwarves. I mean, our Dwarves are getting +3/+3 in the shop, and I mean they're getting us closer to treasures every time we buy one. So we're just literally gonna buy every Dwarf we see. And unfortunately no Dwarves here either. So we could either take a roll and try and lock a Dwarf, or we could take a 2/2. I don't think we're interested in the Lonely Prince. And yeah, unfortunately we don't find any more Dwarves there, so kind of an unproductive turn. But I mean, the amount of stats that we have on our Dwarves, as well as our Golden Princess Wight, is still enough to win the fight on 3.1 there. Again, no Dwarves here, so a little bit unfortunate. But I think I still think it's right to just like aggressively hunt Dwarves in this spot. We could just abandon the Dwarf plan here and just TLK the Princess Wight, but instead I decide to just take one more roll, and we get paid off with a doubly there, an 8/8 doubly no less, and we take one more roll thanks to the Forbidden Fruit, and we get rewarded again with the 3rd crafty. We're gonna take a Boiling Beaker, as we can throw some spells onto the doubly potentially and get some extra stats that way. And yeah, our crafty is already enormous. Since the shop stats all stack, what do you call it? The crafty gets the shop stats from all 3 of the crafties that combine into it. All right, we get to upgrade our first Princess Wight here. Well, I mean, it was already upgraded, but we get the level 3 treasure, and it's a Deep Stone Mine, which we are absolutely going to take. I mean, we're literally Dwarves right now, so let's do that. We're going to cast a Mix-a-Whizzle on the doubly, which is going to put stats onto it. And we're also going to get a Feasting Dragon for a turn here, which is just going to further increase the stats in our shop, which is, again, fantastic. Alright, we take the other doubly, the other bossy that we locked in the shop there. And now, yeah, we just want to find any Dwarves here, and there is a Dwarf. That is a Fanny, which we are absolutely going to take, and we are definitely done with this sarcophagus now. I think Fancy Pants is a big upgrade here on this particular board. Power Orb's okay. We definitely don't want Eye of Ares, but yeah. I think I'm a big fan of Fancy Pants in general, so that's what we go with here. just rearrange so that we can get both our bossies there. It's possible we should have just replaced this tiny with one of these whites, but unfortunately I decided, or I didn't think of it at the time. Alright, get to pick up another Fanny, which gets the pants buff. And there's a Greedy, which I'm absolutely happy to take here. And we're gonna double support it, just basically because we want to try and get as much gold as we can out of it. And we have so many stats on board right now that we can afford to not double support the doubly. There's a lot of stats over on that side of the board as well, and yeah, we don't get too much value out of the Greedy. I think we got 2 hits there, so I mean 2 gold is definitely not nothing. I was kind of hoping for a couple more, but again, 2 gold is definitely fine. It almost paid for itself. All right, we get to see 3 level 6s here, and I mean we got to take the risk here. I think with the chance of finding Lordy, and hey, wouldn't you know it, we find Lordy. Lordy gets the pants buff, which is not necessarily the dwarf we want to get it on, but what are we gonna do? Not buy Lordy? All right, we lock a Fanny triple there, and yeah, this pants is looking very scary. They've already got Hat Ball plus Beaker, and those Spellweavers are looking very strong. Fortunately, we have the pants buff on the Lordy, gives it enough to trade with the final Spellweaver there, so we get out of there without taking damage. Notably, we haven't taken damage except for the one forbidden fruit that we took. Alright, and these level 4 treasures are not exactly what we want. I kind of want to cast XP this turn just to go to 6 and hunt for Lordies next turn. Like a couple of these stats might be worth it, but we have a lot of stats already. So like the 3 of Shields, I think the 3 of Shields is probably a little more tempting than 3 of Swords on this board. It's because we have a lot of power, so toughness helps value trading, but I inevitably opt to skip there. And yeah, we find a Tweedle with an experience spell in the shop, and yeah, we're gonna go for it. I think I want to keep both the whites now, just for the shop buff. Again, when we triple dwarves with the shop buff, they get those bonus stats from each of the dwarves extra shop buffs there. So I think I want to keep them, at least keep the whites for at least a little bit longer. We get a pants buff on a doubly, which is very, very good. That is a dwarf that we want to get a pants buff on. And we find a Lordy. So yeah, things are looking great for this dwarf game so far. Also, shout out to Unpundun for blessing our shops with Lordies earlier. They said blessing of many Lordies upon you, and wouldn't you know it, we got 2 Lordies already. A lot faster than you often find Lordy when you're dwarves. At least that's been my experience. All right, just hunting for more Lordies now. We're gonna change heroes though. The extra +3/+3 on a couple of golden characters we have isn't really that big a deal. And there's a Zelhua, which we're absolutely happy to change into. And we find a 3rd Lordy. So this Lordy blessing really coming through. We're gonna take a Pandora's box, of course. And yeah, we got a couple more rolls here to see if we can lock a Lordy. Unfortunately, we do not. And there's Unpundun saying, and World Tree incoming as well. And I mean, the Lordy blessing seemed to work, so I guess let's see if the World Tree blessing works as well. And wouldn't you know it, Unpundun is just an actual Storybook prophet, and predicted our Lordies, or blessed us with Lordies and blessed us with World Trees. So again, big shout out. So yeah, now we're a World Tree board. We're technically still dwarves, I guess, but we're just our dwarves have just gone up in quality is all. And now this these Princess Wights are affecting our entire shop, which is kind of nice. It's not all that big a deal. I mean, unless we're dealing with like good boys. I mean, the extra stats on the Ashwoods do matter. And we did pass by a Court Wizard. I mean, since the art changed with the Court Wizard, I have a little bit of a harder time recognizing them. And this Pants has grown a little bit, and we managed another tie with them. They still have the Hat Ball Beaker, so they have an added fork. So that's probably why they're not absurdly large at this point yet. And yeah, we find a couple of wombats, which we are gonna take. I mean, we're Zelhua. We can afford to buy these speculative wombats. I guess they're not speculative, but they're just cheap and add a lot of value. And they're I finally recognized the Court Wizard and take it. After people said that I was missing it in chat. All right, and then we get the triple for the Ashwood, which I think we are gonna sell for this turn. I was just gonna lock it here, but I end up selling for it. I think we're done with the Princess Wights now. The shop buff probably not all that relevant. And these level 6 treasures, we go for the Embiggening Stone. We still have quite a few things that we want to buy, and getting that extra +10/+10 in the shop, I think is worth a little bit more than the temporary stats from a spear, as we have a ton of stats already, so adding +7/+7 per attack is probably not going to be all that it's not going to be extremely relevant anyhow. Pop out a greedy there from our wombats, and we get a gold out of it. It's a nice little value there. All right, and yeah, now we just need to hunt for. We have the ghost fight here, so we can afford to kind of aggressively hunt for relevant units. I mean, obviously we would like to find more lordies. We would like to find summons. Like a pumpkin would be really nice because we have the Court Wizards. But yeah, there's a number of things that we wouldn't say no to. Oni Tyrant is one that I think we can pass up here. I think it just doesn't add quite enough. It doesn't improve our board enough for me to want to take it anyways. We find another Lordy though, so that's a pretty big stat gain. Although the Lordy stats can only like take you so far. Like there's definitely a ceiling on like how strong the Lordy stats get. Like the initial stat bonus is really powerful for stabilizing. But when we want to go over the top, we want to start getting multiplicative bonuses with like good boys and whatnot. And Bearstein's an okay option here. I mean, I had the Wombat, so I just jammed the Bearstein. But also there's a Pumpkin here. So there's an argument between Pumpkin and Wombats. I mean, with Pumpkin we get potentially 4 summons that get some upgraded stats, but they're not that there's not that many stats. Whereas with Wombats, since Wombats is going to get the Lordy stats plus the Ashwood stats when it transfers those stats to whatever it summons, and then that gets doubled, that ends up being just a ton of stats on one character. So there's an argument between the Pumpkin and the Wombats here. I think we are ultimately going to go with the Pumpkin just because we have the Court Wizards. Although I mean Wombats are more fun in general, but yeah, we went with the more efficient one. Let's go for a perfect game here and not lose any fights. I think Pumpkin is better for that. And Peter Pan still hasn't upgraded that beaker into a forking rod yet. Get a decent little run out where they attack into our pumpkin after killing 2 things. So we fill up our entire board and deal a full board worth of damage to them after those bonus attacks from our Court Wizards. Alright, we could go for a Knighthood here on like the Lordy or the Pumpkin or the Bearstein, but I don't think that's a big enough upgrade. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna jam the Croc into onto the Pumpkin. So when the Pumpkin gets resummoned, it's gonna be a 50-50, and then it's also gonna have an extra level 6 character to summon. So I mean, not that we're hurting for high level characters in this comp, and we took another Lordy, but we're not going to play it. Or sorry, I think we did end up playing it over the Bearstein, just because like the stats from the pumpkin getting summoned just aren't all that relevant, and the initial stats from the Lordy just I think end up being a little bit better. Increasing the toughness on our court wizards makes us a lot harder to scam. All right, and Beauty has like a reasonable, couple reasonable pumpkins here. They're at 1 health, so I mean they need to win this to survive. But they do knock us down to 4 characters after our pumpkins pop. So like we were pretty close to tying there, I think. Although I think that's probably a higher percentage run out for them. I'm pretty sure we were 100% to win that. It's just like that was probably the closest they could come to a tie. Again, there's the argument for wombats. I mean, okay, we could triple our court wizard and just play the other Lordy or the Bearstein, but I think we're not going to do that. And then there's a good boy, which I think is better than the non-golden Lordy here. So we're going to take that. It's going to get the Lordy stats and then distribute those stats again. So it's basically as strong as another golden Lordy. So unfortunately, we weren't able to play the Bearstein. We couldn't quite fit it in there, but we did end up playing the wombats. But we don't get to pop the wombats and see just how big we can get a chicken or or an egg or whatever that comes out of there. But yeah. So that was a flawless victory. We the only damage we took was from a forbidden fruit that we cast, and yeah, we went hard in dwarves for the first 5 levels of the stages of the game or whatever. I guess it's 4 because you start at level 2. But anyways, but yeah, we ended up with a wild world tree dwarf comp and just dominated the lobby with a turn 2.1 Princess Wight. So yeah, let me know if you found this enjoyable or educational in any way. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel and I really appreciate it. Again, once we get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to give away two codes for 700 gems. And yeah, I would love to give those away. So I would appreciate your help in getting to 500. But yeah, also you can catch these games live. I'm not streaming Storybook every day or anything, but I am streaming it a few times a week over on Twitch. I've committed to streaming every single day for as long as I can. Right now I am on day 9 in a row. So yeah, you can catch me over there every day for at least a few hours. And my Twitch will be in the description as well as the pinned comment. And yeah, I would love to see you over there. With all that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.